Jack Thunder and the Fragments of Anima. Book 4. Earth. Chapter 7. The Abominable Wendigo of the North. "Now, Buckthorn, use your song!" The sea stone resonated with Buckthorn's voice as she began to sing. The Wendigo tried to slam its arm down on her, but missed, carving a deep gash into the ground. Activated by the song, the sea stone summoned a swirling tempest. Freezing rain beat down on the clearing, encasing the Wendigo in ice. Snarling, it broke free. Its eyes glowed even brighter than before as 3 twisted, black, tree-like structures burst from the ground. No matter how many times the team struck the Wendigo with their attacks, it didn't slow down. In fact, it seemed to be growing stronger with every blow. Shadowpaws misfired, launching one of Lethal Joke's grenades at one of the tree structures. It burst upon impact, shriveling the tree somewhat. The Wendigo seemed to shrivel up too. It shrieked and staggered back. So the trees were the source of its power. Shadowpaws fired another grenade. Sure enough, it damaged the tree again, and the Wendigo shrunk even more. 2 more tree structures burst from the ground, their creator screeching in anger. "Uh-oh, looks like I'm gonna have to do this fast." He danced precariously around the battlefield, blasting the trees one at a time. Jack Thunder noticed what Shadowpaws was doing and turned his attention to the tree structures. Razor did the same, closely trailing behind Shadowpaws. Buckthorn continued to sing, slowing the Wendigo's movements. Still, every time the team managed to take down one tree, 2 more would sprout in their place. Snotter skidded to a stop in the middle of the clearing. What were they going to do? How are they going to win this? All of a sudden, a thought struck her mind. A little bit of fire might do the trick. She sped to Sour Apple's trailer, jumping and grabbing the lantern that hung from the side. It was still lit. Good. I just hope it works. She threw the lantern at the base of one of the trees. It broke open on impact, exposing the inner flame to the structure. A few seconds later, the tree was completely engulfed in flames. The Wendigo wilted like leaves in the hot sun as it burned, shriveling and curling up, never to sprout again. It worked! "Guys, I figured it out. Fire keeps them from sprouting again," Snotter shouted. So that's how it went. While Buckthorn sang her song, Shadowpaws launched his grenades at the trees, which Jack Thunder and Razor would zap with lightning as soon as they hit. The grenades exploded, setting the structures alight one by one. Somehow they stayed lit despite the pouring sleet the sea stone had summoned. "Guess that Wendigo substance is so foul, it burns even when it shouldn't," Snotter mused to herself as she continued to beat back the Wendigo's attacks. Eventually, when all the trees were alight, the Wendigo shriveled and withered to just Sour Apple's height. It growled as its form twisted, morphing once again. When it stopped, an all-too-familiar fanged goat skull greeted the 4's eyes. "Nemesis!" The Wendigo general growled. "This always happens to me. I have my enemies in my grasp, then something comes along and steals the victory right from my claws." "Cut the chatter, goat-face. What were you doing to Sour Apple?" Snotter snapped. Razor growled at the Wendigo general from his place on Jack Thunder's shoulder. "Oh, this one?" Nemesis gestured to the Dryad. "He was the one who let me in. His resentment towards his brother was all the fuel I needed to build my strength. I had to bide my time, but it was worth it." "What?" Sour Apple shouted. "I didn't let you in. You infected me, just like the virus you are." "Oh, hush," Nemesis scolded him. "You have no place to talk here. If I recall, you're the one who said, 'This season's gotten to everyone's heads.' It was you that couldn't be bothered to stop at the grove and let loose a little, even for your brother's sake. All you could think about was your work. And I have to thank you. If not for you, I would never have been able to get past the Heartwood." Sour Apple dropped his head in shame. Jack Thunder leapt in front of him. "Hey, knock it off! Why don't you just leave him alone?" "Actually, I think I will. I have no use for this one anymore. With his anima, I can get past the Heartwood just fine. Once that's done with, there will be nothing standing between me and the fragment of Earth." Nemesis turned to its former host. "Really nice knowing you, Sour Apple," it taunted before disappearing in a puff of black smoke. When the light returned, it was close to evening. The sun hung low in the sky, dyeing the clearing a shade of golden yellow. Snotter spotted the broken lantern still laying on the ground. "Oh, sorry about your lantern." "It's all right." Sour Apple still stared at the ground glumly. "Don't listen to that monster. It was just trying to get you riled," Jack Thunder told him. "It could have happened to anyone," Buckthorn added as she tended to his wounds. The sea stone glowed a soft teal as she restored his anima with her healing magic. Even to a resounding crash echoed through the forest. Their hearts fell as they remembered. Nemesis, the Grove. They had to get back to the Grove. Jack Thunder turned to Sour Apple. "You stay here. You'll be safer in these woods. We need to get back to Yggdrasil's Grove. We'll come back for you later." The team dashed their way back through the woods. Sour Apple would be fine, at least for the time being. Right now, Yggdrasil and the Grove were more important. They couldn't even see where they were going, but the fragments guided their way as they pulsed with increasing urgency. If Nemesis had gotten to the Heartwood... They didn't even want to finish that sentence.